Right. All right.
Marlena, hello. How are you?
Hey, good.
Marlena,
Reading the comment.
Reading the comments.
Yeah, right. Reading the comments same time. I'm Marlena, PR manager, senior case manager for Paranormal, and I'm also on Third Eye Event Productions.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades.
So before we actually jump into what the show is all about, I'm watching from Third Eye. Well, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to assume you're all from Third Eye. Hi, Facebook user. How are you doing? We're great.
Before we jump into what the show is actually about, Miranda, can you actually tell us a little bit about you, about your awesome show, about all the great things you do, and a little backstory about you and the paranormal?
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Miranda. I'm better known as the Ghost Biker, and I travel around the country on my motorcycle to different haunted and historic locations, and I highlight them on my web series, Ghost Biker Explorations. I also have a weekly live stream called Shop Talk Live from the Ghost Biker Garage, where I highlight different paranormal investigators, authors, podcasters, and other people in the paranormal community who are doing things. I often visit a lot of the lesser known locations, highlighting the history behind it, the travel and tourism aspect of it, and also the paranormal.
That is awesome.
Amazing.
Guys, her
That's awesome.
link is down there in the banner if you guys want to check her out.
Yeah, we just finished season 5, filming for season 6 now. And so people can go back and watch all 5 seasons. They can watch it either on the Ghost Biker Explorations Facebook channel, YouTube channel, or Facebook page, YouTube channel, or www.ghostbikerexplorations.com. And thank you, Dr. Sumner. That's the best place you can check out Ghost Biker merchandise. You can also check out all things Ghost Biker on that page, the podcast, the episode, the series, everything on the website.
Now you're speaking a bunch of times this year. I saw when I was stalking you a little bit. And where are you speaking at this year?
I am. So I actually don't have all the dates up just yet. Next month, I'm speaking at the Haygood Mill in Pickens, South Carolina. In April, I'm going to be speaking at St. Albans Sanatorium for Enigma Cons. I'm going to be speaking at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, of course, in Gettysburg. And then let's see, the Deep South Paracon down in South Alabama. I've got a couple different Harley Davidson events planned. I think one in Kentucky in October. Trying to work on one in September with someone y'all might know. And yeah, so looking at, as of right now, I pretty much almost have an event a month to speak at seems like all over the East Coast.
Super busy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
David said that you forgot to add something in there that you are.
I am. In my adult life, I was spent 21 years in marketing and graphic design as a marketing executive in the corporate world. And so as of the last 20 years, I've been doing freelance design. And over the past 2 years, I've taken on more paranormal design. So all the graphics and design and stuff that you see when it comes to, Ghost Biker and the episodes and everything, I do graphic design, posters, banners, videos, you name it. And I've been doing David's work as of late. It's been a really enjoyable experience and honored that everyone that's passed along work to me has trusted me with their projects.
And you do work for us too, because
I do.
Because we're desperate, because you've seen my work. Because David's seen my work. David said, phone a friend.
Yeah, and you've given me some great projects to work on, and we met the other night and gave me a list. I love it. I love it when people give me a list to do to knock out. So I'm excited about these projects that we got coming up, because you guys have got me loaded up.
Oh yeah.
David's also going to be at the Deep South with you.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I haven't got to meet David in person, and it's so funny because we're both from down here in the South, and so our paths haven't crossed until he moved up north, And so I think we're going to be at several different Paracons this year, and looking forward to hanging out with him, meeting him in person, and maybe even doing a little investigating.
Have you ever seen him? Oh, well, you know what he looks like. You can't miss him. You can't miss him. You can't miss him.
No,
And
I know what David
that
looks
voice.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, I guess down there he fits in. Up here, you can't miss him.
Are you saying all us Southerners sound alike?
No.
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 He's just got an extra strong accent.
He's got that Mississippi accent.
Yeah.
He's got that twang.
He does. And a lot of us East Tennesseans kind of have a similar sound, but he has that unmistakable voice. And I tell you, the thing about us here in East Tennessee, we can talk a lot. So that's how you know a Tennesseer.
we mess with the Southerners on here all the time, but you know what? You all give it to us all the time. Where's Brandon Cooper when you need him?
That's what I was about to say.
Well, exactly. See, and he's the one he invited me to speak there in South Carolina. So
he's just trying to get you all together because he told me the South was rising again. Be careful what he recruits you for.
He's recruiting a good one. He knows, the biker, the.
I believe it. Be careful.
Right. When you recruit the ghost biker, you're recruiting for the winning team. So,
I mean, well, anyway, Sky, you want to tell the viewers what our show is actually about?
Yeah, let's just continue. Let's finish saying hi to these three people we didn't get to say hi to yet. Hello, Frank.
Frank.
Who is Todd Trout?
Oh,
maybe that's the Facebook user.
Is that you? It's one of them. Oh, hi, Alan. Hello.
Hi, Alan.
Only your husband.
It's going off the rails. Yeah, let's get back on track.
Bringing it back in. Rally. All right. So, Sky, I don't know what our show's about.
Okay. Our show. So we review evidence. We get outsiders' opinions, insiders' opinions, the person that has been there, and our viewers, of course. You throw out your opinion too. You let us know if you think it's paranormal or not. I apologize. There's a child shaking things in front of me. So tonight we're going to show you guys a clip. It is an EVP. There's some visual on there, but we want you to focus on what's going on here. Put some earbuds if you got them in. I need you to get out, please. Thank you. Yeah, no, goodbye.
I will give you guys some backstory on the EVP and on the clip because I'm actually the only person who, shocker, I was there. There's a building here in Lehighton, Pennsylvania called the Old Times News Building. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's the original newspaper manufacturing building here in Lehighton, Pennsylvania. The history of the building, the building when we went into it was being used as kind of like there were tenants that were renting rooms in the top floor. And then there was construction happening all throughout the other floors. There was somebody, now I didn't know this when I went in. One of the top floor tenants, a couple of young girls were living up there and they called me. They were having issues whenever they would go down to the basement doing laundry. I had gone down to the basement and I had sensed immediately there was a lot going on down there. Everything from kids that had broken in there and maybe messed with the Ouija board. I did pick up on what I felt was some ritualistic stuff that happened with some blood magic. And I picked up on some things that were lingering from that were not nice. There was a slew of activity there. Plus there had been a fire there when it was a factory. And then also when it was a newspaper plant or a newspaper place like 100 years before. It is now actually shut down. It shut down not too far after we did this investigation. So this is me actually walking through with my team. And Sky and Marlena were not on the team at the time. That's how long ago this clip was. This was done on a live. So this is an EVP recorded while we're live on Facebook, and I'm reading and I'm picking up on a man that I felt was having a heart attack, a homeless man that I felt was having a heart attack in the basement. And I'm saying that I did not understand, if I could not tell. I could see him clenching his chest and he was stumbling, and I could not tell if he had died in the building or if he had stumbled outside to die. And you'll hear him answer me.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it not that? I think it was anything, but
Really?
right before the time he started.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure if he died out on the street. I can see him stumbling out there and holding his chest, but I don't know if he came back in. All right,
Did you catch it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very clear. Did you have, during the live, did you have people hearing it in the moment and responding to it?
I'm the only one who hears. I mean, normally. There was no other. The only other psychic that was there was my daughter, and she heard it, but didn't respond.
Yeah, that, I mean, to me it was a very clear response.
Yeah, I could even hear that without the headphones.
Yeah, I mean, we
That
just
was
asked
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we asked the viewers to put them on because some people just, their audio just stinks on the phone
Oh, yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
But, hi, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
So that happens a lot. We actually have been getting a lot of stuff on the lives happening,
Yeah.
in real time. And yes, normally, not normally back then, but now, I don't know if it's like the team is just more in tune to it. But now, like, even my husband, who used to have no like ability to hear anything, even now he'll be like, I just heard that. So I don't know if it's maybe something you develop, but yeah, nobody back then heard it.
Can we play it again? Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We'll play it again for you.
Was it not that? I think it was anything, but
Really?
right before the time he started.
okay, so yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure if he died out on the street. I can see him stumbling out there and holding his chest, but I don't know if he came back in. All right,
Do you notice those three girls, those three that are standing there that keep turning around?
Chills.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Those are who called, the two girls and the mom. That's who actually called us to that building. There was a lot happening behind them, and we do have another clip, not for tonight, but we do have another clip of a woman that I had seen crawling on the ground that we ended up getting on SLS. And I said, she's reaching over and she's going to turn the flashlight on. And she does turn it on. You could see her on SLS reach over, and then the flashlight does turn on. So they were not psychic or anything. They were feeling her running by behind. And you do kind of see, like, I don't know if that's an orb. I'm not really good at orbs. I don't know if after having so many people on this show, I'm not really sure how I feel about them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually something I did want to ask you and any of the viewers about that scene there too, because I'm kind of wondering if that has something to do with it as well.
Well, and I would kind of like to see that again whenever we get them a moment, because I'm the same way when it comes to orbs. A lot of them, my background is in photography and video. And so that's kind of how I got started in the paranormal, was looking at photos. And I ended up developing a system to kind of go in, and it's like an 11-point system that I run all my photos through. So a lot of the time, a lot of the orbs and stuff do tend to be dust or to be condensation or different atmospheric matter that you're able to explain. But I think you have to really look at what's going on as well, because there's only been about 2 instances that I've not been able to really explain. And one of the reasons I don't put a lot of photos and stuff out, because I do debunk a lot of my own stuff in that instance, especially when it comes to video of orbs or photos. I typically go in when I go to a location and do a lot of photographing and video before I'm actually investigating to kind of see, is this a dusty place? Is this somewhere that has a lot of contamination? Just so that when we're in the heat of the moment and stuff's going on, you're able to go back and say, well, that's kind of typical. We do see a lot of dust in here, which you do see in a lot of abandoned places, basements, and that sort of thing. But that's like at the jail that Dr. Sumner and I co-own. We keep it very, very clean. So we always tell a lot of people, it's like when you do see something, just kind of go back and look and see what's going on, because a lot of the time you're not going to, we don't have a lot of contamination that flies about. So just definitely something to check, especially if you're using flash or if you're using something that is going to reflect back on the light when it's coming forward. Yeah, as David said, yeah, it does tend to make a lot of that visible. And you can kind of look at flight patterns for one thing, because dust and orbs, those, they tend to kind of have a wispy sort of flight pattern. Makes you think of kind of like snow or something like that, kind of floating along. Or if you have dust and like you blow it, you can kind of see how it sort of flows. Insects tend to have a more erratic, drunk kind of flight pattern. True orbs, and again, they're kind of hard to tell, but they tend to emit their own light, and also there tends to be a little more control in the situation, if that makes sense.
It does. And I'm wondering, there's like a green light in the beginning. I remember first watching this and thinking that that was something, but now I look at that and I'm like, that's got to be from like our cell phone or something.
You have to watch on cell phones, because cell phones have got that double the double lens on it, and so which is going to cause that green or blue light reflection.
Right.
So if you take a picture of any light source, whether it be the sun or I've even seen it when people take pictures. You see it a lot in some of these Facebook groups. Someone will have like a bonfire going, and they'll get this like kind of like green iridescent reflection that sort of looks kind of taller. It's actually reflecting the light back into the mirror of the camera. So it's got the mirror going, and that's where you always get that green spot. But you'll see it with everything, fire, with a sunspot, with any kind of light source, and usually it kind of reflects the shape of that. And it's always really confusing to people because when it comes to fire, because they'll say, I'm not taking a picture of the sun, but it's reflecting back through that mirror.
Interesting. I've had people send me pictures of fire and ask me, and I don't know what I'm looking at. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I always, like I said, that's how I started. Was I got a job down in Chattanooga, and the team that I had joined at the time, before I joined them, it just so happened that their team leader worked in HR at the location that I worked at. He saw my background, sent me a message through our instant messenger at work, and said, kind of got a weird question for you. He said, I've got some photos if you wouldn't mind looking. He goes, I'm a paranormal investigator, and I know your background's in photography. And so he sent me these photos from an investigation to really try to come up with some type of logical explanation to essentially debunk some of these images that they had captured. And so every time I'm sent a picture, I always ask a ton of questions. There's about 6 or 8 questions that I'm always asking. And it's usually the story behind it and the type of camera, the time of day. And a lot of the time I'll ask if the person can have a picture of what it looks like with the lights on, or what it looks like during the daytime, because most people will send pictures at 3,200% zoomed in. You've got pixelation going on. You've got a portion of an image that you don't know, because there's a whole story that goes along with that image. And so, really, he probably sent me maybe 8 or 10 pictures, and then that turned into an investigation, and that turned into an invitation to join the team. And so then I was with them for 8 years, and, you know, to this day, I get a lot of pictures, and so I'll run them through my test that I have to essentially try to destroy the picture, because shadows react a certain way, light sources react a certain way whenever you start going in and trying to tear that picture down. And so, there's a lot of times I don't have an explanation, but then there's other times you get a complete explanation for it just based on the type of camera that was used and what was going on in that moment.
Alan has a question. What camera model would you recommend to eliminate fake orb galore?
Well, that's a good question. I use a variety of cameras, and I saw a comment earlier where David had said, cell phones are the worst for nighttime evidence, and that is true. There's not one that you can eliminate, completely, because again, they all react a certain way when it comes to video, because you've got to look at your frames per second that you're filming in, because slower frames per second is going to cause a trail behind. You're going to, see that along the way of your videoing. When it comes to photos, for the most part, when it comes to dust, if you've got a flash reacting on some type of item, your camera is going to shift its focus. It's almost like taking a depth of field picture. It's going to shift its focus to where the light source is hitting that image. So there's not really anything to completely eliminate, but the important thing is to know your tools, know your cameras, just because you will get, cell phones have come a long way. Some people, that's what they use to video with, and that's fine. You just have to be aware that, it doesn't always react as well at night, and that, just know that there are times you can get false positives, and just really know your equipment.
Let's play it again and see if we get anything on this orb. See what we
Yeah,
got.
absolutely.
Yep.
Was it not that? I think it was anything but.
Really?
Right before the time we thought it.
Okay, so, yeah, I don't know, like I said, I'm not sure if he died out on the street. I can see him stumbling out there and holding his chest, but I don't know if he came back in. All right,
So there was two orbs there. One that kind of, I would venture to say, because it looked like there was a door that was open, and the fact that, is that a dirt bottom floor?
It's a basement. Yes, it's dirt bottom floor.
Okay. I would have to agree with David on there and say probably dust, just because you've got the door open, which you're probably going to have a cross breeze. You've got the dirt floor, so you're instantly going to have dust particles. I mean, it's a good thing to look at, because it is interesting that one flies by right around on the same time that you do get the disembodied voice, or the voice on there. I would tend to say that it was dust reflecting light, but as Michelle says, but it is good to take a critical look at that. And
What about
another
the voice? Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say another thing to note on that when you're looking at your video and stuff. So that was filmed from a Facebook Live. While cell phones are just as expensive as some of these expensive cameras that people use, like the DSLR and those type things. When you're filming on Facebook Live or TikTok or anywhere else, you're